Okay. Yeah, let's just sit, get comfortable in our chair, feeling your feet on the floor, hands just resting on your lap. Just taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, filling up the belly, the chest, filling up through the throat, maybe even all the way to the head, and letting that out through the mouth. Softening the shoulders on that exhale. Let's do that again and breathe in through the nose. Filling those lungs all the way up. Pausing at the top, and on the exhale, allow the shoulders to just relax even more. Sitting up tall, feeling the belly pressing towards the spine, sit bones firm in the cushion of your seat. Let's take our chin over to the right shoulder. Just allow for a nice stretch on the left side of the neck. Seeing if you can get that chin aligned with that right shoulder. If not, no big deal. That's just kind of our goal, that we're gently pressing that chin a little closer to align, be just directly over that right shoulder. And just notice if you've got a ways to go. It's just good to pay attention. It's not like, oh gosh, I'm not doing that. It's just over time, noticing the growth, the change, the softening, the flexibility within the neck. On your next exhale, let's take the chin, draw that back towards center. Breathe in. And on the exhale, let's go ahead and take that chin over to the left shoulder. Again, just noticing where it lands. Continuing to breathe. See if you get a little more play in that, bringing the chin over that shoulder. And just observe the difference from the left side to the right side. On your next exhale, let's come back to center. And just remembering here, let's circle those shoulders backward while I talk a little bit. Hands can just kind of rest. You're just draping your fingertips. They're sliding up and down your top of your thighs as you're circling those shoulders, shrugging them up to the ears and then relaxing them all the way down, just seeing what the range of motion in the shoulders is. Everything that we're doing in our practice is we're observing what the body's doing. We're not judging it. And when we do judge it, we don't get bummed or mad at ourselves for judging it. We just go back and go, you know what? I love my body. I love that it's showing up here. I love I'm taking time to just enjoy it and to care for it. Let's circle those shoulders forward, reversing that range of motion, seeing where our shoulders and our scapula and our rotator cuffs are moving either free or kind of locked up. The more we just observe it, the more we acknowledge where there's tension, kindness towards it, it will begin to loosen. You know, and if you've done much with sports in the past, it's really easy to get hard on ourselves when things don't work, or we get critical of the way the body won't move, and then it locks up even more. And so we're approaching this different with kindness, compassion, and just love for the body. The house divided can't stand, so we're going to remain in that place of receiving love. We can stop rotating now and just sit still. And just really love the body. Love what shows up. Love that we're here today, that we have breath in our lungs to be able to do this and enjoy it while we have the time. So with that, let's just take our left hand, place it on that right kneecap, or right next to the knee. Sitting up nice and tall, let's rotate, taking that right hand to the back of the chair. Or you can even take the left hand to the back of the chair if you're feeling real flexible. We're just giving a nice spinal twist. Just opening up a bit through the spine, getting that synovial fluid moving and shaking for the day. Whether this is the start of your day or the end of your day, it doesn't matter. Now I don't have a back to my chair, so I'm just going to hold on to that right knee. Sitting up tall, inhaling, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, giving a little gentle twist. glancing over toward my right shoulder. Breathing in nice and deep, seeing where that air gets blocked in this twist. And on the exhale, let's untwist. Come back to neutral spine. Again, inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, let's go ahead and twist, taking that right hand to the left thigh. My left hand is on the back of my little bench seat thing. And I'm lengthening, pulling that belly button in, protecting my lower back. Just feeling a nice stretch. Inhale, noticing where the breath stops. And being okay with that and exhaling it out. I feel a nice opening through the collarbone, but I feel a nice stretch between my shoulder blades at the same time. I'm relaxing the neck as I just gently nudge that chin closer towards the left shoulder. Enjoying the stretch. On the exhale, I come back to neutral spine. Let's inhale those arms up overhead. Eyes gaze towards the hands. And exhale, let's swan dive forward. So we're going to lean over our lap. Exhale all the way down, just sweeping our fingers towards the floor, letting the chin drop, relax the head. Give it a little gentle shake even. Let that head just hang. Feeling a nice stretch from the base of the spine, all the way up to the mid-back. Exhale, let's swan dive up again. Extend those arms to the side. Inhale, arms all the way up. Again, chin follows up to the ceiling. And exhale down one more time, sweeping those hands in a swan dive, allowing the chest to just drape and hang over the knees and thighs, relaxing the belly, chin drops towards chest. Breathing in, just kind of checking out your whole breath capacity when you're smushed down over your legs. Make those lungs work a little harder and to go into areas that they can expand. Exhale, let's come up one more time, all the way, sweeping up. And then we'll exhale those hands down to heart center. Beautiful. Yeah. Let's go ahead and just pick up this right leg, cross that over for a figure four. Dang, I haven't done much movement today, so my hip's a little bit tight. And you know what? I noticed I've had a lot of things going on this week. So I noticed that my body holds tension in my hips. Everybody's different. You might notice where you hold tension. Women often hold the tension in our hips. And so just a knowledge of that and awareness, that doesn't mean, oh, I've got to stop. It's just, oh, let's just be really gentle to the hips. So I'm just going to kind of wiggle. I'm just going to kind of wiggle my thigh a little because I haven't done much. Usually I like to do a little bit of sun salutation work in the morning. Just didn't do that today. So now I'm going to feel that tension. I'm going to tighten, like have a flat foot. So then I feel my calf kind of light up a little bit. I might even lean in to this stretch. Holding that belly in, I can kind of go, oh yeah, baby, that right hip's lighten up for me. So I'm going to just do some organic movement. This is where we learn to listen to the body. What does it need? What I need and what you need is going to look different. So move the body accordingly here. Now I may just press on that right thigh. I'm going to press it down a little, and then I'm going to bring it up and relieve it. Maybe I'm going to rock a little around like a barrel roll here. Oh, that feels good for me. And see if that feels good for you. But as we begin to really listen to what the body says, you might be like, oh no, I just need to sway side to side. I need to do this. I need to stay perfectly still. You do you, boo. That's what's important here. I'll give you ideas, but you do it your way. So just see what feels good. Notice the difference between being uncomfortable and tight and pain, and then move accordingly. We don't want to push through sharp pain, we want to back off and just kind of love on that. And if we feel like, oh, that's tension, that's a tight muscle, breathe, send that breath, that cleansing, healing breath into that area and allow it to massage it. And then see if you can get a little more range of motion. And now my body feels like I just want to cross this leg. Okay, so I'm going to cross this leg and I'm going to try and put both feet on the floor. And then I'm just going to wiggle and do a little rotation and maybe apply a little bit of pressure on that outside thigh and even do a partial twist just to get a hip flexor opening, a stretch on that right leg to just kind of counter what we did with that cross leg. Let's go ahead and release that. There's a dried up contact lens on my floor. Sometimes they fall out of your eye and you don't even know why. Let's go ahead and take this left leg and cross that one over. Again, flat foot might give you some extra work in that calf as well as in that right hip or in that left hip. So I'm going to do a gentle pressing. For me, I'm going to do a gentle press on this thigh, and I'm going to lean forward as my right foot is flat on the floor, and I'm activating this left foot. Don't forget to connect with your breath. And see what feels good to get an optimal stretch and an opening through this left hip. I'm going to do a little wiggle, a little more leaning, sitting up tall. And observe the difference from side to side. We usually have one hip that just, especially as we advance in years, we've noticed maybe a tension or an unevenness where they're not quite the same. So that willingness to work the side that gives you the most grief, gives you the most resistance, and see is, just our natural chiropractic care ourselves. When we balance these out, we're going to walk differently, we're going to stride differently as we feel that and are willing to kind of work with the side that says, hey, I need a little extra TLC. Again, if you want, cross that leg over like crisscross applesauce, both feet on the floor so you come to the edge of your seat, just giving some wiggle movement. This you're going to maybe feel in both sides of the hips. Pulling that belly in. And then I like to take my hand across that thigh and maybe give a little twist. Again, pulling on that thigh, lifting it up a little bit to get an outside hip flexor stretch on that whole left side. Wonderful. Let's take our feet flat on the floor when you finish that up, uncrossed. I'm going to take a hold of my knees gently. We're going to just do a little bit of seated cat-cow for the spine. So we're going to inhale, chin comes forward as we breathe in, opening through the collarbone, feeling that stretch from the lower back all the way through the middle back, heart opener. And on the exhale, let's breathe out, rounding, holding onto the knees so you can have a nice firm foundation, something to hold on to as you feel that expansion in your back, belly into the spine. Breathing in, come forward, belly drops, chin comes up, collarbone, we open through the heart space. Exhale, let it all out, rounding through the spine. Allow the back to just open. Feel that all the fascia muscles just getting a nice stretch. Again, breathing in. Chin forward, open, let the shoulders relax. Notice mine are dropping far from my ears. It's really easy to hold and be tense. Let's relax, trust that grip on those knees. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Chin to the chest. One more round. Inhale, come forward. Holding on to those knees as we pull forward and through. Open the collarbone, open the heart, chin forward. Forehead relaxed, soften through the jaw. Exhale, round it out again. Opening, chin drops, relax. And when you're ready, come back to neutral. And then we're just going to go ahead, holding on to those knee areas softly. Let's just rotate clockwise, a barrel roll around those hips. Just really going into it, just feeling anything that wants to catch, just ride through it. Just let the body move and flow. Enjoying, opening your heart to gratitude that you can do these swirlies like you're on playground equipment again. Smiling, and then let's go ahead and reverse that counterclockwise, or if you already started counterclockwise, then just go clockwise. With the breath, finding the breath. And we'll come back to neutral. Yay, we did some chair stuff. How about the floor? I'm going to move my little stool off to the side. And come down to the mat. And we're going to do a little bit on the mat if you're able. Now, if you need a chair and you need to just stay with your chair, modify. Or have cushion, have something for underneath your knees if you want to do that.
A dog on my knees. He's laying here with me.
It's awesome.
It's okay. I'm okay. I'll find your ball.
I'm going to mute you, Mom, just because I did decide to record it. Okay. So let's just come down first to a child's pose, just to give a little extension. Toes are together. My feet splay open, my heels fall outward. My knees are wide as my mat, but you have the option of bringing knees together. I want to show you the difference. So when knees are together, notice my back rounds out more. And so it has that convex back. Now, if I take my knees wide, my big toes are still together. In my child's pose, notice that I have a more concave. And so my chest is pressing more towards the mat. And so it's more of a chest opener versus the other is a back extender. And so you can even alternate during a child's pose. And we're going to be down here for a little while. So one thing you can do in child's pose, let's say that you've got knee issues and you've got a block. You can sit on a block. And then my knees don't have to collapse quite so much. So sometimes people have had knee surgery. This makes child's pose a little easier. There's not as much stress and strain on the kneecaps. And then you, of course, could take that to a lower height and just kind of have that where it feels okay in the body. If you got flexibility in your knees, then let's go all the way to the mat. I'm going to extend my hands out forward as far as they'll reach. Sometimes I take my fingers in a diamond and just kind of having that energetic touch connection. We're going to lower and soften the head. The forehead just rests on the mat, nice and gently. In child's pose, we're going to send our breath as we inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to inhale. We're going to pull that breath all the way as if it's filling up balloon pockets in the back, expanding the back. And then gently letting that out through the nose, in through the nose and out through the nose. In that Ujjayi breath. Breathing in, filling up the back pockets. As if the backside of your lungs have these pouches that you're trying to inflate. Let's teepee our fingers up and walk those fingers to the far left edge of the mat. We're remaining the same in our torso and our lower body. And we're just going to open up on that right side body, feeling the obliques open up and stretch, loosen. Breathing in. And out. One more full breath here. From the exhale, let's walk our fingers back towards center and then all the way through to the far right side of our mat. Lowering that forehead again. Breathing in and filling up the back side of the body. Softening through the hips. One more breath in. Softening through the neck and the face and the head. Shoulders relaxed. Keeping those fingers up, let's walk back to center. And then we're going to push up into tabletop. So we're on all fours here. Again, if you need a cushion underneath your knees, you can lay out a blanket or a foam pad. Belly into the spine. We're going to first extend our right leg back long. We're not going to lift it. We're not going to do anything else. My left foot is untucked, relaxing on the mat. I've got that long, straight, energetic line from the crown of my head to the tail of my spine. And then I'm going to lift this foot up. Now to be in alignment. I'm going to make sure that my toes are pointed to the earth. Okay, it's really easy if you see my foot that my toes want to rotate out and kind of point to the side. But I'm going to rotate those toes. That lights up the glutes, doesn't that? So make sure that belly's into the spine and those toes are pointed straight down. And then that energetic line, your eyes are down at the mat right below you. And you can really benefit from this line from the crown. Imagine a lightsaber going through the crown of your head all the way to the tail of your spine. And that light, that line, when you activate everything, engage that energy, it makes it easier to hold this leg up. And so much so that you can even lift up the left arm if you want, but you don't have to. Belly into the spine, breathing. Holding this pose, activating the glute, activating the quad, activating that entire left arm. Then let's go ahead and lower that arm back down and that leg back down. Well done. If you need to, push back in child's pose for a moment just to kind of feel the stretch. Wiggle the booty a little, loosen it up, and we'll come back to tabletop. Same thing. Let's extend the left leg now long. My toes are tucked on that left side. The foot is still on the earth. I mean, you might even want to rock back and forward. We didn't do that on the other side, but you can. Just kind of loosening up the toe joints and the ankle. Belly into the spine. When you're ready, let's go ahead and lift that left leg. Same thing. Now you might not even be aware, but check to see if your toes are directly pointing below to the mat. So we have just gone from an open hip to a closed hip. Now I'm rotating that left hip in, activating the belly, pressing in through that right foot on the top of the mat there for balance. And then if it's in your practice, lift up that right arm. extending it out long. I like jazz hand fingers in this. It's just like more energy. It activates my entire right arm. Left leg totally lit up, activating the quads, activating the glutes, the hip, the foot, my belly, and my right arm. Breathing. And when you're ready, you can lower both hands and feet. Well done. Let's push up from this pose into a simple down dog. Now, simple down dog means I'm going to drop my chin to my chest, but I'm bending my knees. Notice my knees are bent. My booty is reaching for the sky. My chest is pressing towards the mat. My fingertips are spread wide. My palms are rooted into the mat. And now I'm going to press as if I'm trying to reach my palm of my hand towards the midline, towards the center, like I'm screwing the palms of my hand inward. That relaxes the shoulders, chin drops to the chest. Now I'm going to straighten my knees a little more in my down dog. But I'm taking my time. Relax in this posture. If you want to pedal out your feet, just breathe through this movement. Pedaling the feet nice and gentle. Let's look through up towards our hands. And we're going to take our right foot and step it through for a low lunge, dropping that back knee, untucking the toes on that left side. Let's see, I don't have this back quite. We're doing this without tripods or anything today since we're missing the phone. We're going to come into a low lunge. My feet are more on railroad ties than they are a balance beam. Much easier for balancing. Pressing through that front left heel, opening up through the hip, sitting tall, relaxing the shoulders, belly in, connecting with the breath. Hands can rest on that front knee, on the hips, catching your breath. And if you'd like, we can inhale and sweep those arms up overhead, gazing forward. So find your modification. Where do the hands need to be? What feels right in the body? Let's go ahead and lower our hands to the mat, tucking those back toes, lifting that back leg. Now, if you need to lift this leg and carry it, or you just lift up and we step back into downward facing dog. Pedaling out those legs if needed. Allow that chin to drop towards the chest. So the crown of the head is at the earth, pointing to the earth. Engaging your Ujjayi breath. We'll take our gaze forward between our hands. And again, we'll do this the same thing on the left side, lifting that left leg. We'll drop that back right leg for lunge. Pressing in through that left heel. Opening up through this right hip. We've loosened it up well today. Belly into the spine, softening the shoulders. Find where you want your hands for low lunge. Connect with your breath. Quieting the heart. And then we'll lower those hands back down. Tucking those toes on the right side. We'll lift up back to downward facing dog. One full breath here. Let that out. And let's come forward into plank. Now you can lower down on your knees in plank. And then we're going to lower down into Sphinx. So in Sphinx, my hands are at 90 degrees, pressing through the hips, hip bones into the mat, belly into the spine, activating my quads as I press my top of my feet firmly into the mat. And as I do that, it takes the pressure off of my lower back. So that's really important that the lower half of the body is active in Sphinx, because sometimes we'll just relax all of that and then press up and we'll strain our back. So let's do this, pressing our palms into the mat, gazing forward. See if you've got space to relax through the shoulders. Opening up through that collarbone, opening up the heart. You feel a nice stretch in the back, especially around the traps, underneath the shoulder blades. And just connect with your breath here. Again, see, like if you can activate and press into your feet so much that your quads almost come off of the mat. So we're getting an upper and lower body strengthening and stretching. Lowering down. Let's place our left ear on the mat. Relax our arms to the side. And just completely rest here. From this point, we're going to take our hands up to the top of the off of the mat on the left and the right side. So I'll show you here with my hands. You can see my left hand over here. I'm just like spidering, they're like teepeeing up. We're going to raise up, activate those glutes and those quads, and we're doing a spider push-up. So we're pushing up and then we lower back down. Pushing up on the fingertips, activating the glutes, the quads, top of the feet, and lower back down. Again, breathing in, rising up, activating those glutes, quads, hammies, and lowering back down. One more time. After you've been down, inhale, press up through the fingertips, belly in, feel that stretch through the belly. Feel your arms working, your glutes, your quads, and lowering back down, just like a Sphinx, only a little different. This time, I want you to take your right ear to the mat. Take these fingers, hands down by your side and relax, dropping that left ear to the mat for a moment. Allow the body to rest and recuperate. But only for a moment. Let's take our hands back right around our chest level, pressing up through the chest, bending through the knee. We're going to come back into downward facing dog. Walking our hands back to our feet. I'm going to readjust the camera. Let's just hang here in ragdoll, reaching for the opposite elbows, maybe a little sway. Allow the chin to drop to the chest, relaxing that head, relaxing the crown of the head that faces the mat, reaches for the mat. This is not as much as a leg stretch as it is an extension and a nice stretch for the spinal column.
Releasing your hands to the mat, rooting down through the mat. Let's slowly roll up, like one vertebra at a time, until you get to full standing. And we'll just wrap up with some gentle sun salutation and a few poses before we cool down. I'm going to take my sweatshirt off because I'm warming up a bit. When you talk and work at the same time, work makes it a little more active. So it's falling off, but I can't get it off. All right, let's inhale those arms up overhead. Take a nice deep breath in up at the top. Exhale, let's swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the shins, lengthening through the spine. Crown of the head reaches for the wall in front of you. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back into plank. You can lower your knees or do a regular plank. Lower down in chaturanga. Inhale into either baby cobra or cobra. And exhale into downward facing dog. Full breath in here. Letting it out. Exhale. Let's step our right foot forward, but I'm actually stepping my left. Right foot forward into warrior two, warrior one. So we're going to have that back foot is at an angle. It's flat. Arms come up overhead. Both feet are flat on the floor. Your feet are on railroad ties. Arms sweep up overhead. Then we're going to exhale to warrior two. Gazing forward, your drishti, or your focal point, is that middle finger on the left arm. Front knee was bent. Back leg, we're pressing into that back blade of the foot on that right foot. We're going to reverse this warrior. So a reversed warrior. Gazing down at the floor at my back foot. My right arm slides down my right leg. From here, we'll move into an extended side angle. My left arm, forearm comes to my front leg as I reach my right arm up over, so that inside of my right arm is just grazing my ear, my right ear. And we breathe. Exhale to triangle. So I'm going to bring my left leg straight, taking my hand to my calf, shin, or the floor. I'll open up to triangle on this right side. My right arm is up to the ceiling. I can gaze either down at my left foot or up at the sky. Connecting with your breath, belly in, relaxing the neck. Let's exhale. We'll bring that arm down to the mat, framing that front left foot. We're going to then step back from here into plank again, or into downward dog rather. Take a full breath here, catching your breath. Exhale. We'll come into plank, lower down into chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale into downward dog. And now we'll step that left foot through. So you're gonna do this on both sides. You can switch the sides of your mat, or you can just listen for the instruction. From here, I'm gonna take my back foot, place it flat on the mat at an angle, so my toes are pointing at like 2 o'clock. Then we're rising up into warrior one. Belly into the spine. Pressing into that front left heel, knee is bent. And then we'll exhale to warrior two. Toes are still at 12 o'clock, but now my back, inside of my back foot is intersecting like a T with my front heel. Gazing down my middle finger on that front arm. Knee is bent. On the exhale, we'll reverse this warrior. Breathing through each step, finding your breath even when it's difficult. And then we'll exhale into extended side angle. That forearm comes to that front thigh. My arms reaching over. Beautiful, grazing that ear, reaching for the wall in front. Then we're going to shorten that stance a little, straighten that front knee for triangle. Hand comes either to a block. We can always grab our block to bring the earth closer and open up. Top arm spins open, chest shines forward, reaching for the sky with the top arm and reaching for the earth with that lower arm towards the ankle, the floor, the block, the calf, the shin. Opening through the heart. Then we'll exhale that arm down, framing that foot with both hands. We're going to rotate those back toes. And then again, we're going to step back into downward dog. Recalibrating the body. Let the back just absorb everything it just did. Taking our gaze from beneath us to between the hands. We stretch forward into plank, lower down chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale back again to down dog. And then we'll look forward and step to the top of our mat. Then we inhale up. I'll come back where you can see. Arms up. And then exhale those hands to heart center. Well done. Let's just come and face the long edge of our mat before we settle this whole thing down. We're going to have separate leg forward fold. So the outsides of my feet are parallel with the short edge of my mat. My legs are apart as far as it feels comfortable in the body. We're going to inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, we're going to bring them down and clasp them behind the back. Reaching those knuckles towards the floor. Let's inhale and fold forward, allowing the crown of the head to graze towards the mat, reaches for the mat. So my chin's close to my chest, relaxing that heavy head. I'm going to reach the knuckles up towards the ceiling now, extending. This is a yoga mudra. Opening up through the collarbone, wringing out the shoulders. Just as much as that feels, you can lift them up as little or as much as you'd like off of the back, off of the tailbone. Finding your breath even when you're in these semi-inversions allows the lungs to work and move and find space to oxygenate the body, to fill you with life breath. And on the next exhale, let's bring those hands back to the tailbone. Unclasping your hands and bring them to the mat in front of you. Let's just do a little side to side stretch. So I'm just rotating, taking my knee directly over the top of my foot. Toes are at an angle to right now towards the front top corners of your mat. Just getting a little bit more mobility in those joints, in the knees and the hips, the ankles. Then we'll come back to center, bringing those feet back to parallel so the outside blade edge of your foot is parallel with the short edge of your mat. Let's inhale, belly into the spine as we come back forward, rising those arms up overhead, following with our eyes. Exhale to heart center while we've got our wide stance. Now let's take our heels and we're going to bring them in a little. So again, we're pointing those toes to the corner, top front corner edge of your mat. And we're going to squat down into what you can call goddess. You could call whatever you'd like. Hands come out. I'm shining my palms of my hands forward, belly into the spine. And just really feeling that stretch through the quads. Maybe a gentle bounce. And we can inhale the hands up overhead, straightening the legs. Exhale, coming back down into goddess pose. Inhale, straightening the legs, arms up overhead. Full body stretch. And exhale back. We'll do that one more time. Inhale up, reaching for the sky. Exhale, bending into goddess. Then we'll come back, bring those legs together, shake them out a little bit, and meet me down on the mat. And we'll come into just a gentle low boat pose, engaging the belly. Hands can be underneath the knees. Maybe you want them out the sides of those calves, activating the belly, softening through the shoulders, softening through the face. If you'd like, you can extend legs up or keep them low or hold on and pulling that chest a little closer in with that support, which is perfectly fine here because we've got to get strong in phases. You know, we're not going to want to keep doing it if we push past where our comfort is, where our ability is. So right here, it might just be strengthening the core a bit, getting those quads and literally the crease almost of that groin area strengthened first before we advance. Bringing the feet to the mat. Let's extend both legs out nice and long. Inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale, let's forward fold. And you know, your hands might be at your calf, your ankles, your feet, wherever. It doesn't matter where they land, just let them land there. Just allow the stretch to be enveloped in the body. Connecting with the breath, even in the tension. Allow the chin to drop. When you're ready, let's push back up. Let's take our feet hip width distance apart. Give a little bit of erratic windshield wipers. Feel that stretch in the hippies. Let's do that one more time. Take those legs out nice and long. Inhale up. And exhale, folding forward over those feet. Keep that belly in nice and tight. Just noticing where your body lands. Maybe you've been able to land already a little further than you did for the first time we did it. Chin to chest. Find the breath. Exhale, pushing back up. Let's bring our feet together for butterfly. I like to clasp my hands around the tops of my feet, sitting up nice and tall. Let's give a little press in. So I'm leaning in towards this butterfly. Relaxing the shoulders, the spine. Keeping my head pretty much straight ahead, though, not dropping the chin. Let's release that butterfly, give it a little bit of a wiggle, give it a break. We'll do this one more time. All right, that's enough time. Let's go ahead and press into that one more time. So maybe you want to even take your forearms or your elbows, press into your calves a little, leaning in as you breathe. Know your body, know your limitations for today, and honor it in the body. Breathing into the discomfort, releasing what doesn't serve the body on that exhale. And let's let those legs come back up. One last windshield wiper. Give it a little exaggerated, like go, oh yeah, that feels good when I do it like that. And when you're ready, just taking a hold of this underneath your legs, sliding back, rounding to the mat. Just to kind of counter a little bit of what we did, we're going to press our feet into the mat, coming up to a gentle bridge. Hands can be, palm up or down, whatever feels good right now. Pressing into that midline, meaning I'm as if I'm pressing like this block between my knees and I have to hold it up. I'm going to press in. You have an imaginary block between your knees. So we're activating the legs, activating the glutes, activating the calves as we press in to the mat with our heels. And then on the exhale, let's lower that down nice and gently. One more time, pressing up, peeling the upper back, or I'm sorry, the lower back, mid back, and upper mat back off of the mat. Pressing into the mat with our heels, pressing in towards the midline, belly into the spine. Just kind of lights up things a little easier when we're reminded to do so. Soften the face. And on the exhale, let's lower back down, upper back, mid back, lower back. As we take our legs then up into waterfall. Right now, my legs are just up in the air. Feet are relaxed. We're an inverted letter L. Actually, are we inverted or we are an L? I don't know. And see if you can just relax the hips into the mat. Now you can have a block underneath your glutes to do this, but you don't have to. This is just a partial inversion, just countering some of the things we've done. Maybe you want to rotate your ankles around, or maybe you just want them to relax as they are. Whatever the body needs, give it what it's asking. Let's relax here for 3 full breaths. at your own pace. And when you're ready, let's bend those knees, feet back onto the mat. Let's take our final resting pose wide. So the feet come out wide or wider than the mat, arms out wider than the mat, palms up. And if you'd like, you can have a blanket to lay on your chest or whatever feels good for you right now to just kind of soak in this last couple of minutes, allowing the body to rest and reset. Let's let your breath return to a comfortable, natural rhythm of its own choosing. Whether that's in through the nose or mouth or combination thereof, doesn't matter. We'll take a moment here to let the body absorb everything that it did tonight or today. With that state of gratitude for movement, for directing life into your organs and your muscles and your tissue, your cells, for that breath of life that energizes you to show up on your mat and do what you enjoy doing, and taking some time for yourself to honor the body, to remind the body what it's capable of. Sometimes that requires patience and tenderness that we don't always allow for ourselves. We give it to others, but not always to ourselves. And it's time we learn to step back into that space of loving ourselves so we can love others well. Caring for our health so we can care for the health of others. Bringing awareness back into the breath. On your next inhale, let's take that breath a little deeper down into the belly, filling up the belly like a balloon. That life-giving force. As we exhale, up that energy line, past the heart, past the throat, and out through the top of our head. Again, breathing in deep, honoring beautiful life, filling up that belly. Filling up that chest, through the throat, and out the top of the head, like a fountain of fresh life that's just pouring out all around you. Hey! So when you're ready, bring some movement back into your extremities, whether you like to wiggle, stretch, whatever you feel is needed right now. And when you're ready, you can make your way to your side body and then gently push yourself up to seated. Whether you just like to sit in this easy pose with crossed legs, or we have hero's pose, which sometimes I really like. It's just sitting back on my knees, taking our hands to our heart, just connecting with that life force in us. Feeling a little more alive, maybe a lot more alive than when we started. Connect your mind with that heart, that organ that is doing all the work and working in conjunction with your mind and keeps the whole operation tip-top shape. We honor it
We nurture it. And we're grateful for it. The life in me honors and respects the life in you. Thank you for coming, or namaste, either way.